Good morning. It's Tuesday, November 21st, 5th, 2025, Thanksgiving week. Welcome to Training Wheels, where we take a lesson from the Course in Miracles and we read it through and we talk about it. Today's lesson is lesson number 70, which is My Salvation Comes from Me. So what I'm going to do this morning is read through the first 50 lessons, as we usually do, and then I'm going to take something from actually something that Cindy brought to us on Monday, yesterday, and I'm going to put it in the chat and use that as part of the discussion forum. So take your seat and be comfortable. No doubt there will be people who will be joining us as we are in the middle of our reading, but that's fine. I'm going to turn my video off so that I can just be present fully, and I invite you to do the same. So just sit and listen and attune yourself to the words, or actually you don't have to do anything. You just have to be. Allow the words to attune you and see what they feel like in your body and in your mind and in your heart. Know yourself welcome here. Be pleased with yourself. Be happy with yourself. Nothing I see means anything. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. These thoughts do not mean anything. I am never upset for the reasons I think. I am upset because I see something that isn't there. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. My thoughts do not mean anything. And my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. And a meaningless world engenders fear. God did not create a meaningless world. My thoughts are images I have made. I have no neutral thoughts. I see no neutral things. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. And I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. But I am determined to see. I am determined to see things differently. What I see is a form of vengeance. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. I do not perceive my own best interests. I do not know what anything is for. My attack thoughts are attacking my own invulnerability. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Love is in everything I see. Love is in everything I see because it is in my mind. I am not a victim of the world I see. I have invented the world I see. There is another way of looking at the world. I could see peace instead of this. My mind is part of the internal absolute. My mind is part of God's mind. I am very holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. My holiness blesses the world. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. My holiness is my salvation. I am blessed as a son of God. God goes with me wherever I go. God is my strength, and vision is God's gift. God is my source. I cannot see apart from my source. God is the light in which I see. God is the mind in which I think. God is the love in which I forgive. God is the strength in which I trust. There is nothing to fear. God's voice speaks to me all throughout the day. I am sustained by the love of my Creator. And my salvation comes from me. My salvation comes from me. I recall a former priest's description of his church's view of humanity. This was a Catholic priest, and he called the Catholic view of humanity or the universe a hamburger universe. He said, heaven is like the top bun. Hell is the bottom bun. And the poor human is stuck between the two buns, and the church is constantly vying for its soul. Many of us still believe in a hamburger universe. And those who do might view today's lesson as blasphemy. But for those who are ready to step into spiritual adulthood, the lesson is freedom. It's freedom in its most fundamental form. Salvation, or the recognition of oneness, for that is what salvation is. It's the freedom from the perception of separation from Source. It's the willingness to take responsibility for your thoughts and what you make with those thoughts. A Course in Miracles says, salvation seems to come from anywhere except you. And so too does the source of guilt. So when you realize that there is no need to feel guilty, when you realize that all guilt is truly an invention of your mind, it is an idea, you also realize that guilt and salvation have to be in the same place. Nothing outside yourself can save you, and nothing outside yourself can harm you or cause you loss of peace. So today's idea really places you in charge of the universe where you belong because of what you are. That is a quote from A Course. It places you in charge of the universe where you belong because of what you are. What an idea, to be in charge of the universe. The personal mind relies on separation. It relies on separation as its very identity. And it would have you believe that you're powerless to choose anything. It would deny you your divinity, and it would trap you between the top bun and the bottom bun in an endless cycle of guilt and projection. But like all illusions, the ego is truly powerless. The will of Source is salvation, or the recognition of oneness, and its will is yours. Do you will to be happy? If you do, then recognize first that you are invulnerable, eternal, indivisible, and infinite. If you will to be happy, then explore the idea that everything vibrates with the love of Source. If you will to be happy, then investigate your own freedom. We do not live in a hamburger universe, and you're not asked to accept anything on faith or because of anyone but yourself. Become a student of your own mind. Explore its contents fully, and do so as often as you are moved to do so. You might ask yourself, when does guilt arise? What does this guilt feel like? Where does it come from? You might ask, what is it in my relationships I wish to teach? Do I wish to teach love or fear? Notice when you feel content. Can you see into the source of your contentment? Sometimes contentment is merely the absence of irritation. It's that simple. So let's sit for a few moments in silence. Just be present wherever you are. Lonnie is driving her car, so she need not participate fully in this. But if you're sitting and you can, just relax into your seat. Feel your feet resting on the floor. Let your mind feel the connection between your feet and the earth. How kind is Mother Earth to support us all. She gives and gives and gives and asks for nothing in return. Relax your ankles. Soften your kneecap. Soften your hips. Let your belly soften. Let your heart soften. And let your shoulder blades soften. Let your throat soften. And let your eyes soften. Let your breath be your guide into deepening this relaxation. And when you're ready, say in your mind, my salvation comes from me. It cannot come from anywhere else. And staying with the breath, just noticing it gently. Allow your mind to look at other places you've sought happiness or salvation. It could be another person. It could be a story about yourself. Could be various situations, events, or places. As you allow these external sources of salvation to arise, how does it feel in your body? Just notice. Did any of these external sources give you the lasting peace you wanted? The truth is that lasting happiness or peace or contentment is within your mind because you are in God's mind. It is an attribute of your true self. There may be external things that elicit the response or the memory or the feeling. Could be a bird outside your window, a flower, a beautiful poem. But those things outside are not what cause your happiness. Your happiness arises within your own self because it is what you are. Sometimes it's veiled. Sometimes it speaks so softly we don't hear it. But it is not a bad idea to wear a good path back to knowing yourself in the center as this happiness, as this peace, as this contentment. It doesn't have to be fireworks or shouts of joy. It can be pure, solitary, simple, steadfast, quiet. Sometimes happiness is simply the lack of upset. Notice that. Now, one more time, just repeat the lesson in your mind. My salvation comes from me. Notice how it feels. My salvation comes from me. These are powerful words. This is a powerful idea, unlimited in its application. When you're ready, just gently come back into the moment. Gently let your breath bring you back into the center. Breathe into your body. Stay relaxed. And when you're ready, come on back. And I've put a quote into the chat, and I'd love to just use that as a basis for discussion. And I'll put it in twice, just in case those who joined us a little later don't have it in their chat. This quote comes from something that Cindy actually brought to us yesterday, and it seemed to be perfect for today's lesson. And I think it's really important. God's plan for your salvation could not have been established without your will and your consent. This is why no one gets left behind, and this is why there is nothing to worry about. We have already said yes. It must have been accepted by the Son of God for what God wills for us, for the Son must receive. For God wills not apart from its own extension from him, nor does the will of God wait upon time to be accomplished. Therefore, what joined the will of God must be in you now, being eternal. You must have set aside a place in which the Holy Spirit can abide, and where it is. It must have been there since the need for it arose and was fulfilled in the same instant. Such would your reason tell you if you listened. Remember, we used the term reason yesterday? Yet such is clearly not the ego's reasoning or the ego's logic. Your reason's alien nature to the ego is proof you will not find the answer there. You will not find the answer in your ego. Yet it must be so. It must exist. And if it exists for you and has your freedom as the purpose given it, you must be free to find it. It's a beautiful quote. I'm going to leave that up there and end with this. The guides talk a lot about resonance and attuning. To a great extent, we are self-tuning mechanisms. we have a self-tuning capability. And that self-tuning is expressed through the idea, through the feeling, through the attunement, through the saying yes, through the willingness to say, I have no guilt. My neighbor has no guilt. I can make that decision now, and I can live with that decision for the rest of every now moment that arises in my awareness. I am free, I am free, I am free. There is no past. There is nothing to fear. I am here, I am here, I am here. That is an attunement to a higher frequency. And when we make that attunement, when we choose, when we self-attune, then we plug into a greater attunement. And we are carried with that. So the first attunement seems to be something that we have to make a choice about. It seems to be something we have to work toward. Something that is an effort to remember. But once we make that first self-attunement, we recognize that the attunement is there all along. It's never left. And we just have to recommit and recommit and recommit until we are permanently attuned. That attunement becomes effortless because we're no longer singing in the lower chord. So I love this quote. God's plan for your salvation could not have been established without your will and your consent. Why is that? Why? Because God needs nothing to consent to itself. God does not make an agreement with something outside itself. You are it. The consent was given in the moment that the veil was dropped and the absolute agreed to forget a part of itself within itself. There's nothing else but source. So that's the lesson for today, and I've said enough. I'll open it up. Thank you. How does the lesson feel for you? How does it feel? Yes, Sandra. Alice, come to the head of the table. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for your intro and your walking us through. But I wasn't on the call yesterday, and so this is, a new. But it doesn't feel good to me. That's why I raised my hand. It's like this is where I want to fuss with the text. Okay, so maybe I'm asking for help and clarity, but it's like all the like the God word for me is sense of separation. It's like him, me, father, son, subjugation, not integration, and like it's a word thing. Like I translate must into you have to do that.
Yeah.
There's something to do, uh, which is not like sort of match my beliefs.
Yep.
And if is like it's conditional. It's not universal, it's conditional if you do the right little things. And I'm working on, but here's all my questions, I guess, in a row. I'm working on ego as like there's it translates to me as there's something wrong about me. I'm faulty. I have a I have a bad, a bad something rolling around in there. And watch out because it'll get you. It's like so I'm trying to like whatever understand that better. And like the will and consent still feels to me like there's stuff you got to do. You got to play this the right way, or else, you know. So that I just started like just writing that down as I went through it. Like, oh, these are all my questions in one paragraph. So um, it feels like um, agitating, right? Okay, and um, and like in the last part of your meditation, I um I have a trick, or I have a thing that I came across, what is it that um about my eternality, or and my attachment to externals. Okay. And somehow I guess I was writing and I said, oh, if you take the X out of externals, you get eternal. So it's like, so I had this little, oh, the X factors going on. I'm attaching to an external. They have to change. I have to have that until, if and when, all that, um, when I want externals to be whatever. They want them to shift or change, or I want them to be greater or give me more stuff. I don't know. But so I, I I relate to my eternality. I relate to there's nothing I have to do because I'm already a divine emanation. So those things scratch up against each other for me.
So what I'm hearing you say, first of all, Alice, thank you very much for that. I'm with you with all the words, God and the Father and all of that. And that's as you know, I've heard me say this many times. A Course in Miracles is flying under the radar of the egoic mind. So it doesn't want to directly confront the egoic mind and say, you're not real. It has to undo the egoic thought system without directly confronting it. Because as A Course says so often, the Holy Spirit never argues. It doesn't fight. It just shows you what is true. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so something that you said really resonates with me. And I'm really, I get Kat Van Udensen. I never pronounce her last name correct. Kat Van O's non-dual thoughts every morning. And she's fantastic. And something that you said reminds me of that. We are already whole. There's nothing we have to do. We can live our whole life in unhappiness and thinking that we're miserable and fighting against whatever we want to. We're still whole. There's nothing that can change that. And if that's where you're happy, there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of us feel like, well, we're pulled toward God. We are pulled toward God. And we
Mm-hmm.
don't do that as a separate person, as an ego. Source is pulling us as an idea back into itself. This is all just a bunch of ideas. And so we don't need to get pulled back into source even. We're always one with it. Everything is always one with it. There's never any separation, and there never has been. But the idea of separation is what has created this dream, as Richard tells us so eloquently, so often. This is a dream world, and the dream world would have you believe that you're not a part of the one, and would have you treat others as separate from yourself. And so if you're happy having that experience, then God bless you. Go for it. You know, do whatever you want. I mean, love and do what you want, but your happiness will be dependent in this dream upon seeing yourself more and more and more as God's being. We aren't holy sons of God. That's a separation that we don't even need to take. We are God's being. As we live and breathe, we are God's being.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm good. You said, how do you feel? I'm like, oh, okay. I, you know,
I
um,
feel,
I
yeah,
feel, you know, I guess I felt discontented, but I don't know. When I read it, it was like, those, whatever, if they're helpful triggers, like
yes,
I'm still not clear on this.
yeah.
I still have doubt. I still have, um, can't, I'm not in alignment with such, but um, um, so thank you.
Thank you. I know I will do a Rana and just um, ask who has the doubt, Alice?
Mm,
Who
go
is
ahead.
it? Who is it that's doubting?
Hmm.
Can you find that?
Um, well, it's certainly my trained mind, or my operating in whatever mind that it's or it's the I don't know, it's not, I don't, it doesn't feel like the fearfulness, you know um
Is it the one that thinks she's separate? The one
COVID.
that thinks she doesn't know?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, the one,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that the one who thinks she's got to do something, you know yeah, I see the contradiction of my logic.
I'm gonna call on Rana because Rana does a really good job of explaining this. So
Okay.
so I'm gonna call on Rana. She had her hand up first, and maybe Rana can take this form of inquiry where it will be more helpful.
Well,
Where
good
are
morning.
you, Rana? You okay, there you are. You shifted on my screen.
Here
You're
I
up.
am. I lowered my hand.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is all really good. The sense is that this ego identity continues to get holes poked in it. And the repetition, even though like these are the things we talk about on a daily basis, I need to hear it over and over because I could identify with resistance coming up, Alice. For me, it's when I hear the lesson for the day, which I don't have in front of me, but it's something about salvation is in me, right? Immediately the thinking mind goes, well, not me, Rana. Like it's trying to be a good spiritual student, you know? And so it sort of stops me from getting into that space of what me is about, and the paragraph is so lovely because it points to the idea that I have arrived here in a dream fully equipped to transcend the dream, but I've got to let go of the thoughts. And Rana and her preferences and opinions are just thoughts. There's no Rana here. It's just expressions happening of all this. So where the resistance really comes in is it challenges me here to understand that guilt doesn't exist. because, and what I see is it's such a linchpin to keeping separation in place for this one. There's a me and a them, like we were talking about, a God and a Holy Spirit, and there's this and that. And yeah, it definitely keeps it all in these compartments. But when I pull back from that, when I widen out with that, I can see that the truth is true. And the only thing that doesn't believe that is this personal self-identity that's doubting it. And what that doubt is merely thought, right? The biggest thought that comes up here is but, you know? But I appreciate the repetition because it's breaking through to the understanding that I couldn't have this dream without the falsehood of separation. Isn't it part of the mechanics of it? And so the job here is if it doesn't make me happy to get caught up in it now that I know the truth, there's nothing to be done, there's to be noticed. Like the only effort being made is in the noticing now. Thank
I
you.
want to just thank you. I want to just take 1 minute, Rana, and I want to read something that Kat has written today. Because this question that Alice raised is a really good question, and it just emphasizes the importance of continuously returning to the awareness, right? To that which is aware of all that is arising in awareness now, and continuously returning to the identity that is that awareness, which is as close as you can get, right? And so Kat says, and I just pose this out, what's the taste of the present moment without interpretation? What does this moment right now feel like without any interpretation? It just is. It just is. There's a sense of certainty of knowing this moment is. It's just a direct recognition, right? There's no labels to it. There's no stories to it. There's no memories. It's just isness, as Rana likes to call it. I'm ising, right? There's nothing more than that. It's direct experience. It's naked. It's without any attributes whatsoever except pure presence. Right?
But when I get caught up in the world, right, there's the bridge thought of Holy Spirit asking for correction, those kind of things. I can't just jump from super disturbed and in the middle of it to awareness.
You cannot do that. See, and that's a really good point.
I'm still using a bridge,
That's
and I know that's okay.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I think we all use the bridge, and that's fine. But the more time we spend in pure being, in direct experience, that's why that's partly why I constantly say, wear a path back to your center. In every situation, wear a path back. Stand in the direct experience of knowing. as often as you can. The Buddha said, build your boat before the rains come. That's exactly what he meant. Get to know yourself as the one who is aware without any attribute, without any qualification, the pure knowing of awareness, now and now and now and now. Because the greater this container is, the more powerful the container is, the easier it is when shit hits the fan to find that center back again. You have to get to know it and become so friendly with it. It has to be your go-to, because the world is doing its job by constantly pulling you out of it, constantly pulling you out. That's the job of the world. Right? We don't have to hate the world or say the world is bad or be in love with the world and say the world is beautiful. We don't have to do any of it. It just is, right? But pure knowing just is, right? It just is. And the egoic mind will say, this is very boring. There's nothing here. You don't need to pay attention to that. It's so much more interesting to have all these feelings and these thoughts and these emotions. We just love to take a bath in that, right? But actually, the safest place, the most amazing place is in that quiet center of being the witness. Because then you get to watch all the parade go by in front of you. But you're right there in that holy grail of a spot, which is the pure knowing, timeless, eternal awareness. And the more we get to know that and we investigate what that space is, it becomes the boredom. The boredom is just a veil. There's a lot behind that veil of boredom. And when we sit in silence and we get to know that and we go into it, and that's not the purpose of our gathering today, but that's a reminder. It's a choice we get to make, right? And we make it over and over and over again. We don't make it just once. We can make it 1,000 times a day. Cindy, and then May, and then Lonnie.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to read the notes I took while I was listening to Alice. Thank you, Alice. Was lit up. Maybe I've heard it before, but I never observed myself consciously hearing before that if you take the X out of external, you get eternal. And it appeared to be a way into this conversation. So this is what I wrote. What part is quote unquote troubled? Question mark. For me, it's the part that is focused on the quote unquote external, i.e., not me, not here, not now. The braiding of the wills, which the guides love so much, is one way of, and I just got chills. So that to me indicates that there's something here, at least for me. The willingness to surrender the part of me focused on the external, i.e., anything having to do with not me, not here, not now, to the knowingness of my eternal. And along those lines, I can comfortably state right now that I am God and so are you, right? I am source and so are you. The aspect of me that argues that believes it's something other, i.e. external. So it's actually not the divinity in me that has an issue with the dualistic terminology of the Course. It's the part of me that still feels separate.
Cindy, I want to thank you for that. And I'm moved to say, that there aren't any parts.
Well, yeah, it's all just
For
the,
me, it was really important. This is where the non-dual teaching hit home for me, because I could have spent the rest of my life bouncing between the part of me that felt good and the part of me that didn't feel good and the part of me that this and the part of me that that. There is only one part that never changes, and that's the part that is the true self. And we have to find that and rest in that and know that that's our true identity. And no one can do that for you. You have to find it. And yet it's right there. It's so close and it never goes away. It's so close. We miss it. It's right there. And it doesn't come with bells and whistles, and it doesn't have explosions. It's quiet and silent. And it's right there. Thank you, Cindy. May, you're up next.
I
Mm.
I spent a lot of time this past couple of days with the guides, and like I think it like Paul was talking about his process, and it's like he's never read the course, but it is what he dictates is the course. It's just I think it does honestly it kind of it like it utilizes a lot of the criticisms we have of the course and kind of transforms them, like, which is really helpful. And it is like I was thinking this morning, I'm like, they are so repetitive. These guides are so repetitive, but they are repetitive for a reason. It's the same reason we are doing this little loop, de loop, de loop. That's the repetition is how the teaching like must go. And in their recent teaching in Costa Rica, they're talking a lot about experience, how the divine is going to like make itself known is through like direct experience. And that is it's different for each individuation, but it's also like um it's kind of like undeniable. Um yeah, I just I don't know where I'm going with that, but the guides. The guides.
Thank you. Thank you. Lonnie.
Oh, I didn't know my mic was already open. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was writing with it open.
Oh no,
You know,
your
I
hand is up.
yeah, it's so I meant for it to be up. The way that what keeps playing in me is this absolute willingness to stand in the unknown on a constant, because it opens this being to be open to all possibilities. The minute I start trying to figure something out or understand something, I've already stepped out of that place of unknown and all the possibilities that it brings with it. So to me, this just speaks so loudly in presence to just being willing to stand firmly in that unknown to allow whatever it is to unfold witnessing, without adjectives and adverbs and judgments and, oh, how does it impact me? Versus it just is, which is what you've been saying, Amy. But it's that place of being in the unknown. The Tao says that the minute we try to grab onto it, we've lost it. The minute we try to hold it, keep it, sustain it, we've lost it, because we can only have it in every minute. And if we're only existing in that 1 minute, this is why the repetition is so important. because we're forgetting and forgetting and being reminded and reminded and forgetting and forgetting. It's part of what the journey is. Thank you. I'm complete.
Thank you, Lonnie. I have some thoughts about what you said, but I'll hold off. Sandra and then Patricia.
Wow, what a great conversation. I love it. For me, oh boy, there goes my voice. Everything that's been said has just so true. And for me, it's boiled down to, the pendulum swings this way and then it swings that way and then it comes back to the middle. It's all one. The words that help me, see, the Christian words don't bother me at all. They don't bother me at all. In fact, I like them. I embrace them. I was walking around sleeping. I was walking around in a dream world and I woke up. And sometimes I fall asleep again and then I wake up. I love that word, awakening. Is there a will in there that causes awakening? I think that's like kind of the essential question, and I believe there is. It's the will that I share with God that you put in the post, that I share or that I am. It's all one. And it was all part of was there a plan? I think there was, to fall asleep and to wake up, to fall asleep and to wake up. And then to be participating in the dream world, fully awake and aware, and going, wow, wow. That's what it is for me. Those words do it for me, asleep and awake.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was wandering, I guess I agreed to this. I was agreed to be wandering around, forgetting. It's forgetting and remembering also, as Lonnie said. But while I was doing that, I'm having all of these experiences, but I'm suffering through them because I don't know the truth. But then when I woke up, I know. And I no longer need to suffer with these experiences. Now I get to fully enjoy them, knowing the truth of who I am. That's what it is for me.
Thank you.
And what did it say? Oh, I have to say this now. My salvation comes from me.
And we are entitled to know what we are.
Yes, we
We
want
are,
to
we
know.
are 100% entitled to know what we are.
Now, is there a choice in that? I think there is. I think that's the one choice.
There is the one choice. Today's lesson is lesson 329, and it says, I have already chosen what you will. Now, you could, there's no I in you. It's we. We've already chosen what we willed, or I've already chosen what I will. It's only one will.
And I don't reject the dualism of that because I chose to come into this dualistic experience to know that.
And
so I don't need to reject it anymore. I just know what it is.
Yes.
And I'm right there in the middle. I'm not swinging this way, fully asleep, swinging that way, saying I'm not anything but ether. And then I'm back in the middle and I'm all of it. Full, complete, lacking nothing, aware. And you said we want to be happy in your meditation. Thank you for that beautiful meditation, Amy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm joyful. And when I fall asleep again and I forget, I know that I'll wake up again. And I'll just say, oh, yeah, that was a cool experience.
Yep. Absolutely.
Thanks for letting me speak. I know I went over time.
No, thank you. Thank you, Sandra. It's always worth listening to you, and always worth listening to Patricia. You'll close us out.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good to be here. I'm realizing the time. So I'm going to continue because I've experienced it. So I'm going off to do something today to get flu shot. And I go to fear. Oh my God, I hope I don't have a reaction. Da-da, da-da, da-da. I come back to the moment and go, I don't know. It's the now, because I've experienced the now, so I can keep coming back to the now.
Yes, the now is the only place to access the frequency. It's the
That's
only
right.
place to match the higher frequency is now. Your frequency matches the higher frequency. And that's the only time that you can do it. And it doesn't matter what other frequency in the past you have matched, it only matters right now. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you. The song is always being sung.
Now.
Now, and now. I love us so much. Oh my goodness. And Cindy's going to close us out and remind us that we're going to get together in another hour or less.
53 minutes. I
Yeah.
mean, thank you. Still very Buddha-like. Let me
You are.
turn this off.
Thank you all. I will miss because I'm going